courage is just a function of choice. So there is no other way but to move forward. Death is inevitable, the timing is not, and the order is also not.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Corporate Citizen Conversations. Today we have a very interesting personality, Geetika Lidder. She's the wife of late Brigadier L.S. Lidder, who tragically lost his life in an air crash along with Lieutenant General Rawat, who was the first CDS. The entire India knows the story. However, behind this entire sorrow is a woman of courage, integrity, and looking forward and taking her husband's philosophy and life in a beautiful, positive, and dignified way. So, the first question, welcome, Geetika.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vinita.
Could you just tell us what inspired you to write a beautiful book, I'm a Soldier's Wife, in honor of your late husband and about your beautiful relationship with him?
So basically, I started writing this about after 1 year that he had passed. I had no time on me, and life became so hectic, and I have a job and to deal with my daughter and various other things that had happened. So after about a year plus, I thought, let me just, initially. Everybody who knew us knew that I was just so madly in love with him. So anybody, I used to always think that I'm married to a very special man. But I thought that is because I find him very special. He's my husband. It's only after he went that I realized that he was so special to so many people. When they came to meet me over the year, people just kept coming, and everyone had a story with him. So that is also what prompted me to kind of record and recall and relive my life with him. And also as a form of journaling that I started it. And it just turned out to be something very, very simple. It's not a literary marvel at all. It just flows like a Jane and John story. It's like a very simple love story. And I felt that it was just my tribute to, the byline of the book, I'm a Soldier's Wife, says that life and love of Tony Lidder. So nowhere does it say loss. So it is just the record of the life and the love that we had together. And I feel it is my wonderful way of just remembering him for who he was.
That's so wonderful. And another very beautiful thing is that everybody watched it across the nation. You said that I should be giving a smiling farewell to my husband. So could you elaborate on that?
So I really don't know what all I must have been thinking at that point in time. It was very sudden. It was very traumatic. It was very shocking. But people say you have courage. People say you're brave. But I feel that courage is just a function of choice. So sometimes you have no choice but to stand up and be strong. And the only thing that really was driving me in my head that time, and these lines came out right after his last rites when somebody said that आपको बहुत गर्व होगा, and I said गर्व से ज़्यादा तो दुख है. But उस दुख में I realized that if I don't give him that smiling send off, I'm not being true to the memory of that man for whom you will not find a single picture of Tony where he's not smiling. For he was the person that was just who he was. It just defined him, and he brought a lot of smiles and cheer to everybody who was with him. So in that way, I felt that we must give him a smiling send off because that was important to him. Ashna and my happiness, as all fond husbands, was important to him. So I just thought that it it is my, it's the hardest but my best tribute to give him a smiling send off.
That's so beautiful. And I heard your daughter, teenage daughter Ashna, she's also like grown so much in her emotions and in her intellect. And Gitika has been the umbrella for the family, whether it is parents of Brigadier Leader, her own parents, her daughter. So Gitika, just tell us, how did you move ahead, especially as a woman who is today not subdued, but is an example that you have to stand on your own feet. So could you elaborate?
So, like I said, sometimes I mean there are no then life sometimes doesn't give you many choices. So there is no other way but to move forward and get hold of your emotions and get hold of what is where and try to hold the family. And of course, nobody deserved it. But if I just sit down with this that I didn't deserve it and why me, then there is no growth. So to grow as an individual, to grow as a person, and to ensure that you are helping others to also accept and in their journey of acceptance and further growth and dealing with loss and life. I think you all, basically in all Indian families, we do come together as a family. I have to look out for my parents and who are nursing a wound which will never heal. And his mother, obviously at 85, is somebody, I mean, my heart goes out to her because, I mean, her youngest one. But end of the day, we just have each other to look towards, and it is my job, my purpose in life, the place where I work, the children that I impact every day. Also, I mean, they really add to my strength as an individual. So you cannot pour from an empty cup. The fact that my cup is full of positivity, of impact, of journeys, of stories is probably where that I can lean on. I mean, I can be a little support for some others to lean on.
Yeah. So in life, death is inevitable. So please give a message to all young women who have to stand on their own, why they must stand on their own feet, and because of life's uncertainties and also otherwise.
So, death is inevitable, the timing is not, and the order is also not. And today is also the world of different relationships, different spouses. Basically, today is the world where everybody comes into their own being and everybody has their own journey. So you may be single, you may be having a partner, you may be having a husband, and nobody tells you that who will go when. So ideally, yes, all women should be able to sustain themselves, be able to sustain themselves in a way that they can emotionally hold themselves. Finances is one part of who you are, but what you are and how you define yourself and how you rise up to the occasion and raise the others along with you is something that should define you. And women, definitely, for women, I always give that message that whether you're a homemaker, whether you're a working person, whether you are an old, a lady in her middle years, you should always have knowledge of what is where and financial literacy, because these are things that will make you feel crippled if you don't know. So what you don't know is scary. So it's always good to get the elephant in the room and address it and upskill yourself.
So today's generation of youngsters who are pursuing their graduation, post graduation, some will go to the Indian Armed Forces, and a large part will go to corporate offices. So please give a message of how a life in the armed forces, as you have seen your husband, can be useful. Some of those qualities or the way they lead their life for youngsters who will be in the corporate life.
So I think wherever you work, yes, the calls of duty are different, the timings are different, the kind of dangers you face are different, and the kind of struggles you have in the corporate world are different. So everything actually cannot be compared, because we may be comparing apples to oranges, because the army and the defense forces are a way of life, whereas the corporate places are a job. But today, a lot of there is a lot of awareness about holding and healing your own people, and welfare has become a term even in the corporates. So I feel that the common denominator when you take out between these apples and oranges is the fact that anybody who is anywhere, be it an army officer or be it a corporate person, needs to have that dedication and sincerity and honesty towards what he or she is doing, that who his organization wants him to be, and is he or she true to himself when the day ends. So that is one, and on the part of the organization, on the part of the people who are, change makers in the organization, it is upon them to make the organization like a home away from home, to make sure that employee welfare is something that they really seriously look into. And more than welfare, as in physical health, we have to be more informed about people's mental health and their journeys.
Right. Thank you so much. And the last question is that what is the philosophy of life that you live by?
So I have discovered myself when I have been on this path. Till the time everything is, but though I have been a positive person forever, but when this happened, the one thing that I was telling, my parents were grieving, and of course my daughter in a very, very big way. And I don't ask my gods the question why. I don't ask why. Because I never asked why when the going was so good. If 25 years I have lived a beautiful life with my husband, I didn't ask why. Why am I getting such beautiful moments and such beautiful journeys and such beautiful places to see and people to meet? So after this has happened, it is not for me. It is for me to understand the process, understand and accept, because acceptance gives calm. And I'm deeply inspired by the wabi sabi concept of Japanese philosophy, which is something that gives me peace and which is something that I have understood only after this incident, that we have to embrace the magic and believe in the beauty of impermanence of everything and imperfections of life. So if whatever I have is not perfect, then this is what I have, and I have to play the hand with the cards that I have.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful, inspiring, and honest interview, and I hope you all love it. And thank you, and keep uh, seeing our corporate citizen conversations as we go along. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Namaste.